I had been around comedians now for about 5-6 years or something like that. So I was used to that. You know, the biggest thing is knowing how to shine without trying to overshine. And knowing how to get the most out of a person so they feel comfortable shining. So when it came to Kristen, it was just like, I just have to play T-ball, so to speak. Put the ball up on there and let her knock it out the park.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
All right, welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast, take two. I'm not going to explain why we're saying it take two, but understand we have myself, DJ Julian Rivera, my man Edgar the Sphere, Overheating Munoz over here, and then we have two awesome guests on the show today. I call personal friends, but these guys are super famous in Iraq, in Dubai, and definitely in Hampton Roads as well, and Bmore, or Baltimore, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just kidding. These are my people. Rod and Kristen with the and then we had Text Podcast. That was secondary because they're both hosts, comedians in their own world, but they're here today, and thank you guys for being on the show.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, oh my God. I didn't pay y'all.
You just walked in. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's only been 7 minutes.
Agree.
It's okay.
I mean, how's your ankle, by the way?
It's bad.
Are you kicking ass or is she kicking yours?
I don't want to say that on camera, but just know.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Hey.
It's fine. Age is kicking your ass, if we being honest. It's age.
You just gonna put that out there?
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
gout too, but it's fine. Don't worry
I
about
don't
it.
have gout. I don't have gout.
Oh, snap. She
Yeah.
went there, the
It-
G word.
Listen, she tries every day.
No, the Lord does, but it's
Wait, tries what?
To blame my feet issues on gout. I've been having foot issues now for.
that sounds very similar to gout. I'm not a doctor, but
Pre-diabetes.
yeah, I mean, something. It's got to be something.
So just so you know, this
Diabetes.
is gonna be a different style of podcast today. If you haven't seen their podcast, you'll understand why. It's an amazing podcast, hundreds and thousands of viewers, listeners, live streams, the whole 9 yards. I'm surprised they haven't started an OnlyFans yet, but realistically, NC-17, just putting that out there just so you're aware. But thank you guys for being here in your gout. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate both of us, all of us for coming in.
I mean, at least you guys got good shoes to cover it up, too. so
Yeah,
that's fresh.
I saw
like
yours
that.
when we
those
came
are
in
nice.
today.
Those are nice.
Fresh. It's fresh. I
Okay,
like it.
guys.
So
I like yours too.
So wait, your next show's coming up soon, right?
Yes, we are in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
There's a D in Baltimore?
No,
I
but
found out when I went there.
if you ask them,
It's not a T.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
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 We said, "What's up, Baltimore?" And they were like, "It's Baltimore." And I'm like,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
"Yeah,
Yeah,
Norfolk
yeah.
is
Very,
not
very
Norfolk.
similar.
It's Norfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Norfolk.
It's a silent T. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, but
Like
we're
that.
there March 9th at Magooby's Comedy Club.
Nice. Got you.
Nice.
Perfect.
Excited.
Excited for that show.
If you have a real friend, he'd go because I know he's going to be up there March 9th.
Oh,
Just saying.
wow.
What?
He's coming back from D.C., but whatever.
I love when he says this because he's the real friend that gets invited to go places and says no. All the
Oh,
time.
At least
okay.
I'm honest.
There's
Right?
that, yeah.
You always need those no friends.
No,
I
but
say no all the
But
time.
the problem is
Yeah.
his wife said yes. So
Oh.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the problem right there. But realistically, I'd love to be there, but March 9th is my daughter's birthday. So that's why I'm driving back right after the
Is
event.
it like all day?
It's there we go. It's kind of an important day, March 9th.
just
it's also
an event, right?
It's also the day Biggie died, so I have to make sure I'm back to celebrate with him. So
True.
My kids wore Biggie shirts to
Biggie
school
shirts
today.
today, yeah.
they
y'all should
wore
wear it
Biggie
at the
shirts.
show just to put
Yeah.
the two together.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
maybe.
Amazon.
maybe they
And then we had Biggie. That's what.
and
it
then we
is.
had
Then we have Biggie. We should. That would be cool.
maybe.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't want any percentage on that.
That's
Just
okay.
take it around. So this show we talk about, your peak life and how you can get there. Obviously there's peaks and valleys on this, but I've known you guys for a minute, you know what I'm saying? A minute's a long time, just in case you don't know
Yeah.
that algorithm.
Yeah.
Ebonics. So with that being said, y'all met in what year?
What
Kristen,
year?
Kristen,
What year?
Kristen, what year did y'all meet?
I was trying
Thank
to get
you.
them.
No,
I was
Kristen,
trying to-
what'd you do?
So what year though? Because it had to be
Maybe
like
2016.
16.
Yeah.
This is
So it was 2016 we met, and he was working on a.
Maybe 2015. Actually.
Okay, he was working on something.
2015.
And he needed me because it was like a sketch comedy thing, and he wasn't funny, so they needed me. And somebody recommended me, and then long story short, we worked together, and then he tried to ruin my relationship, so we didn't talk
not.
for a year.
Good
job.
And then after that year, he was having a book signing, and I happened to be in the same building because I just happened to be there. I didn't know he was having a signing.
Okay.
And then
Who's signing
Is that
what?
when you got pregnant?
No. You would think so. You would think so, because we kind of hashed it out and we like
she
whatever
said
talked
she was
it out.
sorry.
I did, and we had drinks.
And they married you.
We had drinks.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of how it works.
Yeah, and then we've literally been together every day since.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Yeah, we'll find out.
here we are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
y'all met in 15. You ruined her relationship, and then you proposed.
Not exactly. I
Yeah.
didn't ruin her relationship.
Yeah, he
her
did.
relationship was already going down.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You
Thanks.
just expedited it. Got it.
Maybe.
Did they find the pictures or something?
No,
Like,
you
how
know
does that
the
work?
funny thing was her
Oh my God.
her
Are
ex,
you kidding
her
me?
ex
We're talking.
must have been a fan. Her ex must have been a
God.
fan
What?
because
No.
he used to follow some of my different socials.
No.
And I described a woman that could have been Kristen if you didn't know that I was dealing with another woman that was kind of Kristen's type. And he thought I was talking about her. And yeah,
I'm not going to disrespect him like that. I think you did it, but it's
I
fine.
didn't do nothing.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
You had goals.
I did, but she wasn't one of them. She was not one of them.
I love this. This is so good.
What?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about
whatever.
it.
Anyway, but
So coincidentally, you're there at the book signing.
Yeah. So
What
it was
else
at a,
coincidentally was
it was
happening
at
around
a
the book signing?
lounge, at like a club lounge.
Okay.
And there was a comic friend of mine that was in town, and they just wanted to do something afterwards. So I was like, let's go to this club. And we walk, and it's literally him, all his people, and everything. And I'm like, God damn it.
You?
yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
And he's having it's the whole event is about him.
Damn right,
Which
J-Rod.
really,
Yeah. You were probably there.
I probably was. Yeah. I think about it. I probably was.
I was like, God damn it. So I tried to avoid him the whole time, but like everybody in there was for him. So I was like, all right. And then he like ordered some shots or something.
Yeah.
Trying to get my attention.
In the
and-
corner. Hey, shots on them over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah,
So it was
exactly.
like
So
that.
you're doing that awkward thing where you're kind of there.
Yeah.
Not trying to be disrespectful, just standing there.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm kind of that bitch too, so I'm gonna stay in the corner and be that bitch. And then it was like everybody was around him, so like even the people I knew like gravitated towards him, and I was like, God damn. Matter of fact, Angus was there, Angus Black was there, and I was talking to him, and they all gravitated to you, so I had
It
to
was a
go
good
talk
night.
to you. Yeah,
It was a good night.
It was
But
fun,
that
though.
was a night that we kind of, hashed out all of our differences. And every night, like she said, every night after that, we were together.
every fucking
Yeah.
So then ever since then, so now it's 25. So technically y'all been together for 10 years, in theory,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So a decade has gone by. And then when was the time that you decided, you know what? Because you were radio for a long time.
Yeah.
I already knew that for a
Yeah.
while, right? So you did that for a minute. J-Rod, like I already knew that for a long time. And then, Kristen, you've been doing stand-up since I've known you.
Yeah.
And in theory, how did that marriage, before the marriage, really come? Wait, did the marriage of the podcast happen after the official marriage, or was there already a thing before you guys jumped the broom?
Did we get married?
We were married before the podcast.
But like right
Okay.
before.
Yeah. Yeah, we did everything super quick. We got engaged within 6 months. 6 months after that, we were married.
And then 6 months after that, she was pregnant.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So.
No, when
No,
we
no,
were
during-
when we got married,
She was
we went to
pregnant.
the courthouse and first, and I was pregnant then.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
We had just found out. I think we found out a little bit after the engagement, right?
Yeah.
That she was pregnant. Yeah.
So in theory, her ankles were better than yours right now. Is that right?
yeah,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a little bit until she was pregnant, and then it became cankles, and
Yeah.
that's where the issue started.
Thank you.
But it was good issues. Like
you.
you said, she's been a stand-up comedian for years, and she was doing stand-up at the time that she was pregnant. Unfortunately, when you're pregnant with twins, you get large pretty quickly.
Wait, you just called her large.
Oh, she was huge.
That's fine. Was
Keyword.
I was. I was. I mean, it's two. And if you see them now, you see them big ass heads. You know I was so big. But yeah. I got about 5 months. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, stand-up just wasn't in the cards until she would, have the babies. But I still wanted her to get her comedy out there because she was on a roll during that time.
Right.
And also at the time, I wanted to do something different, but still in the same vein as radio, so to speak. And podcasts were something that I was just doing all the time, just listening to podcasts. So I said, let's just do a podcast. And at first she was like, no, I don't want to do a podcast.
Fuck no, I
I'm
don't want
just
to do a podcast.
I'm just a
early
stand-up
on.
comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier.
And that's why I think I didn't know enough about it, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to do that. Like that's not because I had done radio for a second, and I was like, I don't know if I feel like doing
Yeah,
something
but I
like
knew
that.
it was the media. Like I knew
Yeah.
it was the next thing.
Yeah.
I had asked a couple of my friends about podcasts and telling them, hey, you should do podcasts. You should really get into it. No one was, biting. I'm like, this is the next thing. But once I brought to her an idea about interviewing comedians, she was a little bit more warm to the situation. But my idea was we also must do things that will allow them to like us as well, the listeners, that is. Because if we don't have a comedian on for one of our podcasts, I still want them to listen. I don't want them to just stop listening to people, to us. So the first day that we went to record, she's about 8 months pregnant at the time.
Damn, you did that to her?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was going to go because I was excited about our guest.
Yeah.
So I went.
Who was the guest?
We had Damon
Wayans Jr. was our first guest.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
super excited about
That's
it. So I
dope.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you can't
I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go. I'm just going to be pregnant.
Right.
So we had Damon Wayans Jr., but we also recorded an episode of just her and I.
Okay.
And once we released, after the babies were born and we released the podcast, we saw that we had more attention on the one that was just her and I. Next couple of months, we still try to do it with comedians, but every time it was just her and my interaction, the listeners loved that.
Yeah.
So we knew we had something.
I
We didn't know
also
what it
sucked
was.
at interviewing people. We were interviewing people I didn't really know that much about. Like, it was
Gotcha.
a lot of internet comics and stuff, and no shade to them. I just wasn't into that,
Yeah.
so I didn't know. We were getting people, I'm like, I don't know nothing about them.
Right.
So,
You know the ironic part?
What?
You're an internet comedian now.
I see, baby.
it was like people that was doing sketches. Again, they were great at what they did. I just wasn't into that.
Yeah.
Because it was like Desi Banks, B. Simone, Haha Davis. Like, they're great.
Yeah.
And I know more now, but at the
Right.
time, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So would you give credit to the pandemic on having to know and learn a lot more about them, and then right place, right time, and you guys are already putting in the work?
Yeah, I think the pandemic, no one had anything to do. So
Right.
all of our entertainment for anything was TV and internet.
Yeah.
And that's all they were doing. So we were just sitting in the house. We worked together and we lived together.
Yeah.
So we were just cranking out content like it was
Yep.
nothing.
Yeah.
So nothing else to do, right? At
Yeah,
that point in time.
absolutely.
Have you guys ever put out a poll like who for your audience, like who likes who more?
No.
Oh,
we
no,
know it was
we know they
popular.
like me more.
Yeah. that was early on. We
The
knew what
first
it
thing they've
was.
agreed on so far, just to be very clear, okay? First thing.
Yeah, no,
All right.
we know. It's
Night
fine.
and day.
Yeah.
Women always win, to be fair.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
it's-
what
So
it is.
that's
okay.
a personality. I'm guessing you have to get used to the comedian.
No, you know what? I've been around comedians for, at that time, I had been around comedians now for about 5-6 years or something like that. So I was used to that. The biggest thing is knowing how to shine without trying to overshine, and knowing how to get the most out of a person so they feel comfortable shining. And doing radio really assisted with that knowledge. So when it came to Kristen, it was just like, I just have to play T-ball, so to speak. Put the ball up on there and let her knock it out the park every time.
Damn, he didn't even say he pitched you and did a grand slam. He said
No.
you were a T-ball.
That's all right.
You got to work in your analogies, Mr. Rod J.
Me and my
All right.
little job. Your little
Well, no,
comedy thing.
If I was throwing it to her, sometimes she would strike out.
Oh, shit.
Or that's
She
the
never-
sport
she
you would
never
be good
strikes
at.
out.
Okay.
Whatever.
Whoa.
Oh,
you
that
were
was good.
complimenting
You
me.
see? That was good. I take it back.
She never
I reel it
strikes
in.
out. I
Okay.
put it up there, and she always knows how to knock it
I was
out.
actually waiting on the one that I know you guys have a scheduled time for YouTube, but like the new one I was just showing you before the
Yeah.
show, it's like,
Yeah.
do men hate women? Like that's
That's where it came from. I didn't even want to call it that. And he was like, this will get him. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, that's a
good
good
catch.
one.
Fine.
You know what? Because it's I think we're everything's in phases. Like it was like the men haters, now it's the women haters. You got all these
Yeah.
personalities over there. Like you need to treat women this way. Don't be a
Yeah.
simp. This like. I think we're kind of going out of that right
And
now.
we're so much the anti of that podcast that it's funny that we put that up there because it's like you might come in thinking that, and it's like we don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
stuff. Like we're so
I'm very traditional when it comes to just like husband and wife.
Yeah,
like,
we
with
just-
my wife. All
we're
that
so-
stuff is
Yeah.
it's been around forever.
yeah.
So then COVID happened, pandemic happened. You guys you're pumping out this content, like pumping it. Like I remember seeing this, I'm like, yo, do y'all sleep? But you were scheduling it. You were you were doing the editing. You might be doing it, but you were like
Everything. He does
working it,
everything.
like killing it. And then the doors opened back up, right?
Yes.
The world. I remember that from a DJing perspective. I'm like, it kind of like your foot was in, but it wasn't always in.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it was
Right.
like a little, and then they shut it again, and then we went full force because it was like whatever the case may be. So like when that started happening, what was one of those peak moments that you realized? We actually might have more than just doing this shit in our crib. Like this might be bigger than what we thought it was gonna be.
It's kind of weird because the pandemic kind of gave us our voices as far as knowing who we were on the podcast.
Podcast or podcast?
Well, the podcast.
Okay.
My mouth is dry. But I would say after the pandemic, the thing that let us know that this is something big was just a random clip going.
That's what I was about to say. That's when I knew, because I thought nobody was listening. And then we had a clip go on WorldStar. And matter of fact, we didn't know it was on WorldStar. Somebody messaged me and said, did you know y'all on WorldStar? First of all, I didn't know people still went to the websites.
Right.
And like looked for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, no, you should read the comments on there. I was like, they commenting on WorldStar.com? Like, that's crazy. And we went, and that went crazy. And then it started getting on all these blog sites. And we were like, oh.
What clip was it? I know y'all remember it.
Do you remember the clip?
Yeah, it was.
I can't remember, but it was a bad one.
No, it wasn't bad. It was. What was the term?
It's always the clip where they think I hate you.
The term that they used to use.
It was something we didn't understand.
Not side chick.
But it was one of the
called?
ones that you didn't think was gonna go, and it went.
Yeah, it was. But it's always the ones that go crazy are the ones where they're like, "She is wrong," and I'm like,
But see,
okay.
at that time, we would put up a variety of stuff, so there was no idea of what goes and what doesn't go.
Gotcha.
You know, it was just it's Wednesday. Let's put up another clip.
Yeah.
It wasn't side chick. It was
No,
something.
it
I
wasn't.
forgot.
What did you used to call side chicks? Or side dude? Basically, she said I was her.
It was something we didn't understand because we felt like we were too
Right,
old.
right.
We were joking with it. It was something, I forgot what it was, but it was something
Yeah,
that
what do you call side dude?
everybody younger was saying. So I was joking about it, like, yeah, you do just whatever, and then they went crazy, and I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't even know what it meant. I was
Yeah.
just playing.
So
Like,
it went crazy, and I would say over that next week, we would put out clips, but we just kept getting more information was coming in about this one clip. And it was like, okay, this might be something. At the time, also, right after the pandemic, we were trying to start doing live shows because right before the pandemic happened,
We did one.
We did like one or two live shows. I was like, okay, now that the doors are back open, let's go and let's do these live shows. So all of this is happening, and we're saying, okay, we're going to be at this place, and it sells out quickly. We're like, oh shit. Okay.
people really be on WorldStar.com.
Exactly.
It's still a thing.
That's crazy.
They overtook media
Yeah.
takeout.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from there, then you start knowing, okay, well, this kind of clip works, this kind of
Yeah.
clip doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are still filming this, obviously, while kids are asleep, because this is early on.
Yeah.
Kids are young. They're still in the house.
Yeah, at the time they'd be in the back and we'd film. Because in the beginning it was reckless though. In the beginning we had drinks. Sometimes we'd have people over.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing. And then they started talking too much and we started getting professional because people were watching. We were like, oh, we should reel it in.
Yep.
So yeah, they'd be asleep. But now it's like they're at school. So it's, it's easier. But
Yeah, it's the day job now, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
knock it out, and you can be
Yeah.
your parents at night and
Yeah.
hate each other at night. And
Exactly,
it's perfect.
exactly.
Or more, depending on the day. So then now, you've done a bunch of shows across
Yeah.
the country thus
Right.
far,
Yeah.
and then you're still doing the shows now. You've hit a few peaks, and then you've also hit a valley,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, yeah.
But then there's always a way. There's always the way back.
Yeah,
in theory.
yeah.
So then now it's 2025. You guys have been rocking it. How long's the podcast been out now?
Now
7 years.
years. Yeah.
7 years. Damn, time flies.
Yeah.
So 7 years, you got hundreds of thousands of followers across many different platforms. I'd probably say almost damn near 1 million in my opinion, including all platforms,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If not over that.
Yeah.
So then monetizing on that, what is the goal for 25? Like, you guys want to continue to do more shows? You want to continue to hate each other more? Do you want to have more kids? Do you want to,
Oh no! To that last one,
quick reply.
that was out of all them questions. I was like, oh, that one absolutely. I think that we've been doing shows and shows are great. But I think it's just whatever the next level of that is. Like, I want to just do different kind of content. Like, we know what we can do well, but
Right.
we want to just branch out and be more than just that. Like, recording a special, doing TV, doing something like that. Like, that's kind of the focus now.
Yeah, the podcast will always be, and this is why I created it in the first place. The podcast will always be the home base, but now it's time to explore the different avenues that can be out there for us. She is one of the funniest people that I know, period.
Agreed.
And
Thank you.
Unfortunately, there isn't a clear lane when it comes to stand-up comedy. You know, you have some people that make it, and you have a hell of a lot of people that don't.
Yep.
But we have this vehicle, so making sure that she can get her stand-up out there is 100% the goal. Also making sure that we take the brand and we develop it even more. We're looking at sitcoms. We're looking at, television, period. And, using what we do as not a training, but more so as a blueprint for other people.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that, say, I want to do a podcast, but don't know why nowadays. Podcasting is the new rapping. Where everybody has a podcast,
Right.
but not everybody's good.
Has a niche.
It's and everybody doesn't have a niche. But also not everyone knows what happens next.
Yeah.
Because podcasting itself, for 99% of the people, it isn't a revenue cash cow. It's not. It's
Right.
not something that you're going to get rich off of. You do have the 1% that are great and they'll be able to, live off of that. But you have to have other extensions from the podcast
Thanks.
to do things.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do now. Just make sure that we can branch out. We've been very blessed and very lucky to be in the position that we are now.
Yeah.
But even though people look at us and, oh, you're successful, there's so much more.
One question I had, 2 questions actually.
English.
The first podcast that you started watching, or the one that got you hooked, who was that person?
The very first was Combat Jack.
Yeah.
Combat Jack was the very first
Damn, I forgot
podcast.
Yeah.
He was a hip hop interviewer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He's like the godfather of hip hop podcasting, and in a lot of ways, podcasting in general. And then from there, I became a fan of Juan Epstein. I think that was the name of the podcast, Juan Epstein. And that's with, you're going to hate. Give me.
No affiliation, right?
No.
Okay. So make sure.
Before you.
That's with, he's a wrestler, but not a wrestler. He does wrestling commentary, but he's also on Hot 97.
Rosenberg?
Rosenberg, and
I can't remember.
Anyway, and a DJ who's a comedian now.
Right.
You talk Cypher Sounds?
Cypher
Yes,
Sounds.
yes,
Yeah.
Cypher.
So they had a podcast, Juan Epstein. On Juan Epstein, they interviewed Joe Budden. And from there, the story goes, Rosenberg says, Joe, you should do a podcast. So Joe does this podcast. I say, well, let me check that out. I know who Joe Budden is.
Kills
check
it.
it out.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it from day one. And, once Joe came in, it was like, oh, wow, this is what podcasting is. And I'm talking about before he became popular.
Right.
The way that he structured his podcast was very it was different than what was out there at the time.
Yeah.
And then there's other podcasts that you listen to and you catch over the years, but those 3 right there were the ones that started me into saying I got to do this.
Have you guys ever thought about, or even because I'm new to your podcast, right? I was introduced by Julian because I'm new to this area also.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
a West Coast baby.
I was about to ask where you. Okay.
Real Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah, real Mexican. So like Big Josh, somebody I follow like on the West Coast,
Yeah.
and they do the skits. Have you guys ever like even thought about doing something like that? Since comedians come up with stories.
He's a skit guy. I usually don't do skits and stuff.
But
I just
this
don't.
year-
But this year.
I
But
may.
this year,
But I've just never been. You know what? My problem is, even with the podcast, I've been such a comedy purist where I'm like, I'm only doing stand up.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm only doing stand up. I'm doing anything that has something to do with stand up. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to do sketches. I don't want to do skits. Da, da, da. And it's opened my mind since doing the podcast to everything. I respect everybody in their lanes, but I just never was like, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Like, so I don't know. I have no idea.
we'll be
I was just
doing
curious.
some sketches.
Yeah.
Like, those other lanes.
No,
'Cause
we'll be
it's
doing
like,
some sketches.
Yeah.
You see those skits also like with a comedian
Yeah.
speaking, and then they just create the
Right.
the visuals.
Yeah.
It's just actors and with the voiceovers.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say
Yeah.
too, and that's very comparable to like the DJ world. Like I started as a hip hop DJ, right? I love hip hop to the core. I'll always be a hip hop DJ, but I kept myself in like one lane.
Yeah.
Right? Like I couldn't even imagine being just a hip hop DJ right now based on where I've been through. And then when I decided to go open format, to be able to transition, to go from a Jay-Z to a Katy Perry to a Guns N' Roses to a Calvin Harris to Amigos.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe that people actually like. 'Cause that was always my style anyway. Like I like a little bit of everything. I didn't know there was a niche for that. But it also opened up every door instead of staying in one door. So I didn't realize that at the time that me having my ADHD and liking all this other crazy, like all the styles of music was literally my path into being able to open almost every door. Like I can go do Beach House for one night and then I'll go do freaking Waterside the next night for a country night.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I just
And he
didn't know
plays
that.
the same two-step.
Yeah.
Every time, the same songs every time. No, but one thing I did realize is that, and this is a fun fact, at least in my experience, do you know that black people will tolerate music they don't like longer than white people will in an environment?
Really?
Oh, I think that makes a lot of sense.
And if you haven't experienced that, when you go out, follow me. So if I'm out, let's just say Waterside, for example, and I'm there March 1st tomorrow, Mardi Gras party, and it's a conglomerate of everything.
Yeah.
So if they're hearing country or EDM or whatever, black people will tolerate it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? But white people are having fun. And then as long as it switches to something else that they like, right? And then they can start enjoying the crowd. But if it's the other way around, the white people are going to come up and start requesting, complaining, and then it goes somewhere else. And this happens every time, bro. Like, I'm not even joking. And I don't care what venue I'm at. And I didn't realize that when it comes to reading the audience and reading the room. So I'm like, okay, so how can I combine that? How can I make it make sense for both? So I'll put like a Fetty Wap 679 and then I'll put a Morgan Wallen over it.
Right.
Okay, so dope. Now they're
Blending it.
they're mashing it up
Yeah.
and doing it at the same time. And that's when everything started blowing up. Like, I didn't realize that shit worked.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it works because then I can combine both audiences that way. So like going back to you, y'all already have the platform.
Right. Well, not even the platform.
just expand on it.
You
Go ahead, finish.
I know.
You
I know.
see.
I just it's
Are
me.
amazing.
It's always me.
once you have the thing that gets the people, like you said, you just blend it with other things.
Yeah.
The comedy is the thing. They're coming back for the laughs, they're coming back for the good feelings, they're coming back for the realness.
Right.
And like that was the thing that we were building in the pandemic, finding out what it was that we would be known for. And now that we have that, all you have to do at this point is just throw it in different lanes. You know, take all of that and put it on a sketch. You know, take all that, put it in a sitcom or whatever the case may be. You know, and that for 2025, that is the peak. That is the thing that we're trying to do most, is take what we have, not so much the podcast itself, but the elements that make the podcast great, and throw those in different avenues that are, you know, best benefit us, and, you know, give the people that don't want to listen to podcasts another source of entertainment.
Yeah.
You know?
A short or whatever.
Right.
Because obviously your content's already been recorded. It's just taking those little skits or
Right.
samples or whatever.
But with that being said, you know, I this is where the NC-17 part's gonna come in. So, and then we had sex.
Right.
Is the name of your podcast?
It was. We had to change it,
too.
and then we.
And then you're right, but it's still that, like
Yeah,
in
but
person,
it's-
live.
Right. Yeah.
But understand, because ghost banning, the algorithm's not liking it, and that's it. Like you see anything that's let's just say sex related online, if you see any captions, it doesn't say it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
That's just what it is, and I understand. It's because a lot of kids out there, we don't want to put it out there. But
Yeah.
out of all the topics in the world, we understand sex sells. But what led to choosing to go that route as the topic of this podcast?
And he probably just wanted to live out his whole dreams. He just wanted to talk about his past. You know
what? Originally, the idea was doing something with comedians that you usually don't hear about. It was more of a when we would interviewing the comedians, it was finding out about their lives on the road, their sex lives on the road.
I forgot that's what it was about.
Right. but the name of the title itself was, and then we had sex, because everything happened after we had sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was
Like
when
book
life
signing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was literally. It was like
life changed for us, and then, you know,
Yeah.
after we had sex. So that was the thought process behind the name and everything. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, what it became for a long time, which was a sex positive podcast. It wasn't really about sex, so to speak. But I knew that sex was a catchy, you know, thing. So I
Yeah.
was like, let's do it, and, you know, people are gonna just want to see what it is from the beginning just because of that, and it'll also open us up to be able to speak freely about whatever topic because you have sex there. But it being sex positive just kind of morphed because a lot of people because we were so open about
because we didn't
certain
care
things.
about talking about stuff. So yeah.
So you're on the road.
Yes.
Theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
on the
here.
road. People just came to your show.
Yeah.
They loved it, right? You're seeing the people after the show just like any good entertainer does. And you guys get approached by a couple.
I know where this was going.
A couple or just a person?
Follow me here.
Okay.
A couple. A couple.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've seen all your clips. We've seen your podcast. We love it. What are you guys doing tonight? You already know what's in their mind. You already know what they're trying to do.
We go to the strip club.
We've gone to the strip club with a couple of couples.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me and then we after the show say some stories on the road that you've gone you don't have to go too explicit.
You know what's so funny? I think a lot of couples that have approached us go in it saying, "Oh, we're going to fuck them."
Right.
But by the time we actually get together and have conversations,
They
they're
be
like,
having
"Oh
such
my-"
a good time.
Yeah, oh my God, they're so cool. We can't fuck
we're
right now.
literally we've gotten approached by a lot of people, and we literally we just have a good time.
Yeah.
We're joking about shit. We were in the strip club with one couple, and we talked the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it's just ass
Hey,
everywhere.
I'm busy. What are you saying?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for real. There were people trying to do strip and we're just in there laughing and joking. That's happened a couple of different times.
That's good.
With all kinds of couples. I mean, with couples in the sex industry, all kinds of stuff, and we end up just talking,
having a good time.
and just
That's
being
good.
fun. Yeah.
But do people have a misconception thinking of when you go to your show and they see that and they just think that you guys are why haven't you started your OnlyFans yet? Where can I see the other content? All the stuff you're talking about.
We've
Stuff
had
like that.
so many people ask
even
us.
with the podcast name change.
Yeah.
It's still there.
People
Yes.
ask us that all the time. We've been at live shows where we'll have audience questions, and I remember specifically in New York, this girl was like, "So what's the age limit to have a threesome with y'all?" And I was like,
snap.
"Wait a minute, what are you talking about?" We've had people do that,
Yeah.
but we just be chilling.
So did you say yes or no?
No, we did not.
We did not.
All right.
No, we'll just be chilling.
All right, same question.
Yeah.
What if it was a guy that said that?
No, we did not say yes.
One show, this guy asked, could he pick me up to take a picture? And my husband was like, "Hey, yo." Mind you, the dude was
Smart man.
twice his height. He was like, "No."
I was gonna fight him.
He was a really he was a really
No
nice.
doubt.
He was
6'4".
he was really nice.
No, he was cool.
And he was nervous to ask, so
Yeah.
he didn't really want to. But he just thought for the picture. But his wife was also there with him,
Yeah.
so
Right,
it wasn't
right.
but
pick how? Chris Brown pick up prom picture? Or
We don't know. He never got to do it because I
Okay,
told her hell
fair.
no. But,
Fair.
You know what I mean? But
He's a
no,
nice guy.
we've been blessed with a very diverse, but at the same time, everyone is so nice when we meet them on the road. Just the nicest people, the most supportive people.
We got this lady that's in her 60s, almost 70.
Mm-hmm.
She's been to 4 of our shows. She always brings friends with her.
Travels.
She just be having a good time.
That's
her
awesome.
birthday, everything. She'll be like, "I just turned 66 and da, da, da." I mean, just cool as shit. We have all kinds of people that show up to the
See, that's
shows.
dope. That goes to show that not even just the race, the diversity, but the
Yeah.
age difference, right?
Yeah.
You have young people, old people.
Yeah.
Everyone can relate, obviously, to
Yeah.
that because we all partake in that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, definitely.
So then now that you kind of identified your peak and what's going to happen in 2025, what's the challenge that's made you excel more so in this game, really, in the past, let's say post-COVID?
A challenge that's made us
Being
excel.
broke. That's a challenge, man. So you wake
Back
up every
against
day
the
saying,
wall.
"Hey, we gotta do something."
Yeah,
We gotta do something.
When you in the beginning of us getting shadow banned because of the name and stuff like that.
Right.
The shows, mind you, for a year and a half straight, all of our shows sold out.
Right.
All of them, bam, we doing multiple shows in those cities because they selling out so fast, and not little venues, they selling out.
Yeah.
And then the shadow banning thing happens in the beginning of that, and we're going out with the mindset of, "Oh, we're gonna make this much money like we was making before,"
Right.
And people are not hearing about these shows,
Right.
And it's not that they don't like us, because they're literally like, "When are y'all coming to this city?" And we're like, "We were just there. Why didn't
Yeah.
y'all see it?" Stuff like that happen. So that just made us kind of fight harder and think about other things that we can do aside from what we were doing anyway.
Right.
We could have got comfortable just doing regular podcasts, doing regular shows, and that made us think, okay, well, what else can we possibly do?
Yeah.
That is not the same thing, because our muscle memory would have been like, well, we making this kind of money, we doing this. Let's just keep doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's probably
Yeah.
the biggest one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you found something that you love, it's kind of hard to give it up. It's hard to just say, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the mindset is, I have to figure out a way to continue doing this. We found something that we're good at. We found something that we love. You know, it's still in the lane of comedy, which we started in before actually doing the podcast, but we found something that, you know, not only makes us happy when we do it, but it makes other people happy when we give it to them.
And family too.
Yeah.
I think family, just, you know, we have 4 kids. We have a lot of different things that they have going on. And us continuing to do this, we're constantly out of town and all this other stuff. I think when our twins got diagnosed with autism, so that kind of shifted a lot of the way that we handled even leaving as often as we were, approaching different things. They have therapies, like our life just kind of changed a little. A lot. Right. So something like that will also make you be like, okay, well, there has to be a purpose in what we're doing. If we're leaving this much, if we're, you know, if things are changing, we have to figure this out.
With that being said, if you're way funnier than J-Rod, we know that, and he's admitted.
It's crazy that you said that.
So would you be fine being the face and he be the stay-at-home dad?
No. And you know what the problem is? It's because stand-up was different. Like, stand-up is like, okay, I can go do stand-up, but like, if it's the face of this podcast, I need him to tell me what to do.
Okay. She just complimented you. I just want to let you know.
I do.
It was a front-handed one, not a backhanded one. It was like, I love you, babe. That's what it was. It was good.
I need him. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I need him to help me navigate a lot of this, because with most of the episodes, he has everything figured out. He's got the camera set up. He's got what we're gonna talk about. I show up and I just talk, and then I leave.
Are you still doing all the editing?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, especially clips. I don't mind not editing the actual full podcast. I wouldn't mind if somebody else was to do that. But the clips itself,
he knows the flow of the joke.
Yeah, like
yeah,
you can't teach comedy.
Yeah,
you can't teach comedy, and when you're putting out content that's supposed to be funny, you can't just give anybody the reins to edit it because they don't know nuance. You know,
unless they were there and filming the entire thing.
Even if you were there,
you don't think so?
There,
no.
I've seen some clips, some comedy podcasts that I know that are funny.
Yeah.
But they did not do the clip that the way they should. Like
okay.
the joke would have been better if they would have timed it a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, we do this and it's bad, but we'll watch like stand up comedians and we'll watch and be like, man, that would have been funny if they would have shot it like this. You know, it could have been funnier if they would have
For real.
done, you know,
like the joke would have hit better from this angle, or if they would have said this before this, or whatever. Like, yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
You know,
It's easy as hell. What are you talking about? You just show up. No, I'm just kidding.
I
No,
see,
no.
like
It's
now, I
not.
see, because we have a lot of events with the company, I see Julian now not DJing because he's obviously part of the event.
Yeah.
And he's over there
He
critiquing.
feels weird.
He's critiquing the DJ.
Yeah.
Hardcore. I'm like,
and I'm going to give away a secret. What I like doing in those moments, I was like, because I know it annoys the shit out of DJs. I'll be like, hey, Julian, can you tell your friend to like request a song? And I'll make him go, I do that all the event.
His face even got mad just now.
That shit he hasn't caught on. Now I gave it away. But like every time he's like, oh, I got my friend DJ for this event. Oh, cool. And the day of the event, hey, bro, can you tell him to play this one song, please?
He looks stressed out.
Yeah,
when you
it's
just
the
mentioned
exact
that.
same
Same
thing though.
yeah.
Anybody can have a
And his face is just
shitload
like that. He's
That's
like,
so funny.
all right, dog.
Yeah,
I'll go for you.
yeah.
not anymore.
He's stressed out. Yeah, that's so funny.
This is the guy that requests to sing Feliz Navidad in karaoke, just to be clear.
Oh
Hey,
my
listen,
God.
I don't sing.
I mean-
but if ever I had to karaoke, I know the song that's gonna get everybody.
Feliz
Now, but hold
Navidad.
up. We were in Jamaica, right, last week, and that, like, I was like, all right, I'll do karaoke, but my go-to karaoke song is Method Man and Mary J. You're all I need to
Yeah.
get by, right?
That's pretty easy.
I slay it, and then he's like, I got it too, and then his follow-up was Feliz Navidad. That's like, that's so you can see
That's
the
funny
vibe.
though. That's funny as shit.
Be like, all right, my turn.
I had the
Turn
Jamaican
me up.
bartender singing everybody.
I'm walking around the bar like emceeing. He's like, Like, believe not me not, and like 10 times in a row. Anyways,
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's
I
so
like
funny.
That. I like
That's
that.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but that song was whack.
That's
That's a horror. Like, pick another song.
Method Man. No. You're West Coast. You stay over there.
No, that hit across the nation.
What song is whack? Feliz Navidad.
That one that you sang, the Method Man and
See, you can't even say it right. That's say it over there, bro. Like yeah.
It was whack.
That is not
For
a whack
karaoke?
song. No, that's a dope song. Anyways, so what's your karaoke song?
Honestly,
She doesn't have one because anytime she put a mic in front of her face, if she's not doing comedy, she won't sing.
I love how he answers for you all the time. That's beautiful.
I mean, that was a really good one though.
That was
he
good.
said.
He's good. I
That
didn't
was
say
a
it was
really
bad. I
good.
just said it was good.
If I were
He
to
knows.
have one, it would probably be Lauryn Hill, that thing or something like that. Something
Okay,
easy.
that's a good one.
That everybody would be like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Fun fact, if you don't know, J-Rod, you want to plug your old R&B group that used to be a part of
Not at all,
and who you
man.
used to sing and be a part
You know
of?
what's so funny about that? So the listeners that's been there for a while, they've heard my stories about R&B life.
I bring it up all the time.
Yeah,
It's very
and
funny.
they'll
I haven't caught
actually
it yet,
go
so I don't know.
searching.
Who was it?
To be fair, he can sing. J-Rod can sing really good.
But they go searching for different content that's out there, and it's not a lot of content. But a lot of the
They'll pull it
listeners,
up.
They'll find just random shit. And I'm like, how the fuck did you even find that?
Because it was before YouTube, probably, huh?
Yeah, it
MySpace.
was before.
For real.
Yeah.
For real. So like videos will pop up and they'll
it's like-
find them.
I found stuff like that, and it's like, who the hell took it from whatever platform
Yes.
to this? Like, who's taking the
Exactly.
time
Yeah.
Exactly.
to do that?
Right. There are people that do that.
Yeah.
So.
So you should make like a meme of him like a few times. And I know you got that content somewhere, and just that'll be the.
Oh yeah, the only one I have not been able to find, I have to get my hands on, is when they won Apollo. They won Apollo one time, and apparently there's a tape somewhere, and I cannot find it. But other
Hold
than
on.
that-
Apollo.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They won
Official
amateur.
Apollo.
So
Yeah,
I'm at the Apollo.
Crazy.
First place.
Then what happened?
I can't find it.
I never knew this about you, by the way.
You
Was this
know,
in like 1987?
Nah. This was, I don't even know what year. This might have been 2006, maybe
Okay.
2006.
It's crazy. You just got out of high school.
You know, music was the avenue, but we didn't have. I don't want to say good management, but we didn't have competent management.
Right. The whole crew was talented, by the way.
Yeah,
Like, y'all
exactly,
could sing.
exactly.
yeah.
And at that time, I kind of found radio.
Yeah.
So my pull was for both. And anytime you're trying to do two things
Yeah.
at the same time, a lot of times it doesn't work, especially when you're in the beginning.
One of them was gonna.
Yep.
Yeah. So, music kind of went to the wayside for a little bit. And I focused on radio and figured that out.
So before the podcast, he said he wanted to sing a verse for us from one of his classics.
Sure did it. Sure didn't.
I don't know if he wants to do that anymore now because Kristen's giving him that eye. And she's like, "Don't do that."
You know
shit,
what's so
no.
funny? We were just recording another podcast earlier this week, and the host tried to get me to sing at least 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
and
she
I
would just
shut her
make
down
up
every
stuff
time.
and be like, "Dang, what's that song called?
How it go?
How that song go?"
Yeah, remember that one?
Yeah.
Hey, so what's your karaoke go to?
Anything John Legend.
I think it depends on what room we're in.
This is true too.
Okay.
Because the other one is Ed Sheeran, Thinking Out Loud.
Thinking out loud. Yeah,
How's that
yeah.
go?
Yeah.
You know.
You know the one.
Sheeran.
You know, open format.
I got Ed Sheeran over Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That works. The
Yeah,
drill
man.
version.
That might actually go crazy.
It
to be
would.
honest,
It would.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, that's usually it. Depending on the room. All white room, give me some Ed Sheeran, fuck them up. All black room, give me some John Legend.
Or
fuck 'em
Music
up.
Soldier.
And you'll kill it. I know you will every time.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So then, with that being said, you guys, March 9th,
March
your next show
9th.
up in Be More, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha. I say
yes.
Be More so I don't mispronounce it.
Yeah,
the wrong way.
that's fine. That's the safer way, I
It
think.
is.
Yeah.
So I got 5 like rapid fire questions I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And I do this at a lot of my private events and weddings.
Okay.
And this is gonna be more so. You got to say, it's called the shoe game, but we ain't gonna take your shoes off.
Okay.
You ever seen this before?
Nah,
No.
All right,
Now
check
I'm
it.
scared.
All right, let's check it out.
Okay.
I ain't telling him I was doing this either. So I'm gonna ask you some random questions off top. If you think would be the one to do it more than you gotta say J-Rod.
Okay.
Usually you take his shoe and do it.
Oh, this is easy.
If you think it's gonna be her, you say her name, but you got to beat her to it, right?
Okay.
If you think it's gonna be both of them,
Yeah.
you just don't say nothing. All right.
Okay.
But you got to answer. You can't think about it. It's got to go quick. All right.
Got you.
Question 1. So you both are getting pulled over, right? Y'all both are drunk. You know you are. Y'all knew what you were getting into before you got into that car. You're getting pulled over. The cops coming up. Who's most likely to cry first?
Kristen.
Maybe me.
Okay. Easy one. All right. That was the easy one.
I got anxiety.
Okay. Question 2. You guys are both stranded on a desert island. Ain't no food. Ain't no water. Ain't nothing in sight.
This could be either one of us.
Who's going to eat the other one first?
Me.
I didn't even finish.
Wait.
You're supposed to say
Wait, are you gonna get eaten or you
Gout.
gonna eat? Like which?
No.
you got gout, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah. that means that ankle rotisserie then. It's a marinated
Just to be
ankle.
clear, he's eating you.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Not in that good way either. Like
I
Nah, also
know.
my
No,
good
he's gonna
way,
start
but-
like that. It's gonna
Yeah.
start like that, and then he's gonna be like, I'm also hungry.
Like oxtail wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
man.
All right, you guys are shopping at Target. Let's say Walmart.
Target. Well, we were just talking about Target.
Let's switch it up. Let's go. A Walmart on Military Highway. All right.
Why would we be there?
It hopefully makes sense because I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Okay.
You guys are walking down the aisles.
Such a specific Walmart.
You see that one girl, right?
Okay.
You know, you guys talk. You guys are more open than most couples, which is awesome. But you see that girl. She's bad. Who's going to say something about her first?
Me. I'll probably say something first.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen many ask and be like, you see that? That's crazy.
But who's going to approach her first?
Not me.
Yeah.
But why would you approach her?
Yeah, why would you approach her? What if we can't just look?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Because we want to have fun.
What time is it? Because if it's like 7, you know I go to bed at 8:30.
We ain't got time for all of this.
What time is it?
All right. You're late to pick up the kids at school. Okay. You both are late. You both are driving there right now. At the same time, 2 separate cars,
Yeah.
and y'all didn't communicate. You both get there, and then you realize that the kids tore up the classroom.
Oh, fuck.
But you both arrive at the same time and find all this out at the exact same time. Who's going to be the first one to run away?
Kristen.
You think so?
Yes.
Why?
Because you don't want to look bad.
Oh, no. I would go in there and take care of them. I would. I'm more sympathetic or empathetic.
She would tell me to go inside immediately.
No, you could go talk to them.
Exactly.
I'm not going to run away. I'm going to stand outside, but I'm not. I'm going to stand outside, but yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
So she's going to volunteer you to handle that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
all right. That's
They ruined the classroom. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why'd you go in yet? I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
all right. This is going to be the NC-17 one to end it. All right.
Okay.
Me.
Y'all had a great night. Y'all are out. It's just vibes are right. You're dancing, drinking, whatever. You go back and
You.
it's time to
the vibes are right.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me just see.
you're doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and I think it's that time. Y'all are y'all are doing it. Y'all are good. Who finishes first?
You already answered that.
Oh, but they stopped. They stopped.
You.
Me?
It depends on what time it is.
2
It's
a.m. to
late
2
night.
p.m.
It's
It's late
late.
night. It's after the club.
Yeah.
You had a good time.
Honestly,
You're drunk too, though. Forget
it's
it.
not happening. This would never happen.
What year is it? That's a good
Let's
It
question.
say-
doesn't matter what year it is. It would never happen.
Are we talking past tense or future?
Kristen is drunk at 2 a.m. She's going to sleep
Oh, I'm
as soon
going
as
to
we hit that
sleep.
bed.
Oh my God.
It's nothing happening.
Yeah. Oh no. Immediately. As soon as I get in the house, I mean shoes. I'm
Yeah.
stripping all the way to
You know,
the bed.
you know how many times
I'm
I've
thinking
gotten
about the
blue
bed.
balls because I just thought it was happening, and she's gearing me up to. Oh yeah, when we get
Nobody told
home.
you to buy that good mattress. That mattress is good. I'm thinking about it on the way home. I cannot wait to get in my bed.
Oh my god.
In my pillow memory foam.
See, but that goes to show a good sign of a good marriage. Y'all are
Really?
happy.
Okay.
Y'all are together. You guys are making the most of what you guys have, and you're living your peak life together. That last one is actually if you're not like him because of whatever.
Yeah.
Usually that's not the answer when you
Yeah.
guys are a partnership, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are living your peak life together. You guys are continuously moving forward no matter what challenges are happening because you know that shit's not gonna stop. It's stuff's gonna
Yeah.
keep coming, and you just figure it out. And that's really what the whole point of that last question was.
Yeah.
Even though it segued to that, and you're like, me, I'm done first. Nah, dog. It's that y'all figure it out. You figure it out. There's always tomorrow, and you just keep making it do what it do. So, guys, really, we appreciate you guys being on the show.
Thank
today.
you.
y'all.
Seriously.
This was fun.
This was fun. Thank
Plug
you.
plug yourself. Follow the whole 9 yards. Come
Yeah,
on.
on social media, you can follow us on everything at And Then We Pod. That's ANDTHENWE.
Wait.
POD.
THEN?
THEN.
Oh, then we.
You don't know how to
right.
spell then?
Okay, I was thinking but that's not right. It
No.
was then.
I could pull it up.
And then we pod on everything.
And then we pod on all social media sites. You can follow the podcast at And Then We Podcast. We're on all streaming services as well as YouTube. YouTube drops on Friday afternoons, and the audio drops on Thursday mornings, so you can listen to the show. Full episodes, great. And don't forget to follow my funny wife, comedian Kristen Sevilles at Kristen Sevilles. It's KristenSivills.
And you can follow my husband, but he don't really post shit at J Talk 100. So and J Anthony Tanner on Facebook, because that's where everybody is following the
J. Anthony
podcast.
Tanner on
So
Facebook.
yeah,
I post on Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That sounds old. Don't say that anymore.
No, it's crazy.
All right.
I post on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, guys. DJ Julian Rivera, Edgar, J. Rod, Kristen, and then we're out.
Take
Peace.
it easy.